Chapter 468, Elder Xuanji, Imperial Edict. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. The leader had to enter the top 10 of the Heaven Board within 3 years. Even Xuanji, who was very confident about her own strength, would not dare to say that she could achieve the goal. Other people were even less likely. It was too difficult. Demi Saint Lingxiu glanced around. Since none of you wants to be the group leader, I will appoint a leader for you. Zhang Yuochen, do you have confidence you will enter the top 10 of the Heaven Board within 3 years? Zhang Yuochen answered, yes. Demi Saint Lingxiu nodded, great. Well then, you are the group leader of the first group from now on. When I'm away, you will take charge of all the saints in the first group. Of course, as a leader, you should really take the lead. Urge your group members to practice hard and provide guidance regarding their practice. Many of the saints revealed looks of dissatisfaction. Each of them was a god's favored son. They were proud and not willing to obey anyone's order. They were all aggrieved to hear that they had to follow Zhang Yuochen's instructions. Zhang Yuochen was only a bumpkin whose strength was slightly more powerful. How could he be compared with them? However, none of them dared to be the group leader of the first group. If they objected to the appointment of Zhang Yuochen, Demi Saint Lingxiu would definitely be unpleasant. Therefore, they had to forbear their objection. Demi Saint Lingxiu continued, Zhang Yuochen, come with me. The rest of you are dismissed. You can familiarize yourself with the Saint Academy or go to the Pavilion of Book Collection and read some rare books on exercises. Zhang Yuochen followed Demi Saint Lingxiu to the center of the Saint Academy. The students began to discuss what had just happened. I detest having to take orders from Zhang Yuochen. He is just a bumpkin from Omen Ridge. He's nothing. A rather unconvinced disciple of a saint family complained. His name was Zuo Kuling and he was the disciple of Saint Zuo Gentry. His cultivation had reached the final state of the Heaven Realm and his comprehensive strength ranked 17th in the first group. He was definitely an outstanding figure. He was also one of Zai Yunxi's pursuers. Therefore, he was quite hostile towards Zhang Yuochen. Zai Yunxi stared at Zhang Yuochen's back. I think the reason Master Lingxiu appointed him as the group leader is because she wants to take him as a disciple. Definitely. Zuo Kuling agreed. Among all the people present, only Duan Muxingerling, who remained silent, knew that the person who wanted to take Zhang Yuochen as his apprentice was not Demi Saint Lingxiu, but the second headmaster, Elder Xuanji. Demi Saint Lingxiu was supposed to bring Zhang Yuochen to Elder Xuanji. She took him to the center of the Saint Academy, Saint Mountain. From afar, Saint Mountain was like a dark blue dragon lying on the horizon. It was 8,000 meters high. Numerous peaks stood among the mountain. The snow-capped and mist-shrouded mountaintop was like a retreat for immortals. Zhang Yuochen felt an unusually rich spiritual chi blowing before he entered Saint Mountain. Saint Mountain is ahead. When you become a half-saint, you will be able to open up an abode to practice in Saint Mountain. Demi Saint Lingxiu explained to him. Zhang Yuochen said, legend goes that a holy meridian that has been deposited for billions of years lies beneath Saint Mountain. The holy meridian releases thin holy chi. If a warrior in the Heaven Realm practices in Saint Mountain, his practice speed can be 10 times quicker than usual. That's right, there is a holy meridian at the bottom of Saint Mountain. Tenfold speed is an exaggeration, but a warrior can expect his practice speed to increase at least 5-fold. Demi Saint Lingxiu stared at Zhang Yuochen. Actually, saints of the Saint Academy can enter Saint Mountain to practice for 1 day if they accumulate 10,000 merits. The merits can be exchanged with military merits. I suggest you gain experience in the battlefield of the primitive world for a period and try hard to reach the ultimate realm of the Heaven Realm. Although the battlefield of the primitive world is extremely dangerous, it's also a good place to exercise. Even if you can't reach the ultimate realm of the Heaven Realm, getting some experience will also be beneficial for you to break into the Fish Dragon Realm. Zhang Yuochen replied, thank you Master Lingxiu, for your advice. You don't have to call me Master. Perhaps you will soon call me Senior Sister Apprentice. Let's go. Follow me to Headmaster Xuanji. They entered Saint Mountain and came to a valley filled with pear trees. The woods were filled with pear flower blossoms. The petals were white and flawless. emitting a light fragrance. A thick layer of petals covered the ground like snowflakes. Zhang Yuochen circulated his genuine qi into his leg meridians. A qi billow soon appeared under his feet. He stepped on it, just above the ground so as not to step on the petals. He looked at the surrounding pear trees in shock. Are these pear trees the legendary spiritual crane pear? Demi Saint Lingxiu looked at Zhang Yuochen with surprise, then she smiled. You do know something? Yes, the spiritual crane pear garden has 3,600 spiritual crane pear trees in total. The tree needs 300 years to blossom, 300 more years to bear fruit and another 300 years to ripen. Taking a spiritual crane pear cannot only promote cultivation and open the spiritual intelligence of a monk, it also adds 30 years of life expectancy. When I reached the half-saint realm, the master gave me a spiritual crane pear. Zhang Yuochen nodded, amazed. There was an abundance of spiritual crane pears in the Saint Academy. This was why the Martial Market Bank was far more powerful than other suzerains and families. Through the pear garden, a steep black cliff appeared in front of them. On the cliff was a waterfall, like an extremely long white silk leaping down from the 9 heavens above. Under the cliff, a white-bearded white-haired elder in a white robe sat cross-legged on an irregular stone table. His wrinkled and old hand was holding a bronze pen and writing something. Demi Saint Lingxiu knelt on one knee and bowed to the elder. Master. So this is the famous elder Xuanji, one of the 3 great sword saints in the eastern region. Zhang Yuochen promptly knelt down and saluted Elder Xuanji. He did not dare to be disrespectful. Ha ha. Get up. Elder Xuanji laughed brightly and stopped writing. He seemed to make Zhang Yuochen and Demi Saint Lingxiu stand up automatically without showing any means. Swish. When he stopped writing, the sheet of silk cloth on the stone table began to give off a dazzling light and turned into an Imperial Edict. This was a real Imperial Edict. It contained the sent power of the saint and represented the volition and decision of the saint. Elder Xuanji looked at Zhang Yuochen and nodded with a smile. He said, "Great. Absolutely great. Your sword technique realm has almost reached the intermediate stage of the heart integrated into sword." Demi Saint Lingxiu knew that Elder Xuanji did not compliment disciples easily, but today, he had praised him twice. This showed that Zhang Yuochen's talent was indeed brilliant. Zhang Yuochen just stood and listened quietly. Elder Xuanji suddenly became serious and asked, "I have accepted 5 disciples. Even Lingxiu, whose cultivation is the weakest, has already reached the half-saint realm. Zhang Yuochen, would you like to be my 6th disciple?" "I would." Zhang Yuochen did not refuse. He knelt down again and kowtowed to Elder Xuanji. "I bow to my master," he said. Elder Xuanji stood up. He laughed loudly and said, "Since you agree, take the edict." With a sweep of the arm, the blue Imperial Edict flew from his hand and landed in front of Zhang Yuochen. Zhang Yuochen stretched out both hands to receive the Imperial Edict, then held it in his hands. The Imperial Edict recorded that Elder Xuanji would formally accept Zhang Yuochen as his apprentice. The words on it glittered. They contained the volition of a saint. Accepting an apprentice was not a simple process. It was a very important decision for a saint. He needed to issue an Imperial Edict to affirm the identity of the disciple. Only monks who had the Imperial Edict could be called disciples of saints. The Imperial Edict proved the identity of the disciple. Elder Xuanji smiled. "The Imperial Edict contains a stream of my saint power. If you meet any danger that you cannot deal with, unfold it and the holy qi will carry you away thousands of kilometers, providing you an escape route. Of course, if you use up the holy qi, it will lose its effect. Therefore, unless there is no other way, you should try your best to overcome difficulties on your own first." "I'll follow your advice," Zhang Yuochen said. Elder Xuanji said, "Until you reach the half-saint realm, your 5th senior sister apprentice, Lingxiu will replace me to teach you the means of practice. What do you think?" Zhang Yuochen glanced at Demi Saint Lingxiu. "The 5th senior sister apprentice has profound cultivation. Her sword technique realm has far exceeded mine. I will surely learn a lot from her." Elder Xuanji nodded. "Since it is so, you may leave. If you have anything important, You can hold the Imperial Edict and meet me at Saint Mountain. No one will stop you. Zhang Yuochen suddenly felt that Elder Xuanji had just hinted something. Right. He said that I can enter Saint Mountain freely with the Imperial Edict. Did he mean that I can enter Saint Mountain any time to practice? Zhang Yuochen was happy. He suddenly felt it was extremely worthwhile to be Elder Xuanji's disciple. Other saints needed to accumulate 10,000 merits to practice a day in Saint Mountain. He could enter Saint Mountain any time to practice without any merit. What again? When Elder Xuanji saw Zhang Yuochen's eyes change, he knew that Zhang Yuochen understood his meaning. He really was a smart young man, well worth teaching. Lingxiu, stay here. I have something to tell you. Demi-Saint Lingxiu stayed with Elder Xuanji. Zhang Yuochen stepped out of the spiritual crane pear garden and walked toward the outside of Saint Mountain. Just as he was leaving Saint Mountain, he ran into the god's favored daughter of Divine Dragon and half-human clan, Auxinian. Auxinian had been accepted as a disciple by a half-saint. She was also on her way out. When she saw Zhang Yuochen, she quickly chased him and shouted from a distance, "Zhang Yuochen, fight with me. Today, one of us must win."